Hello, hello, hello.
What's going on, brother?
Nada, aquí nomás.
What's
How you
going on?
doing?
I'm doing okay, brother.
Eso. Listo.
Listo, dale gas.
Para todos ustedes vamos a enviarles la polka de nuestra grabación, la delgadita. De nuestras grabaciones vamos a enviarles de Rubén Vela la polka. ¡Viva Zapata! nuestras grabaciones vamos a enviarles con mucho gusto. Y la polquita Estela para todos ustedes.
Oye, bueno más. Un saludo para DJ Neta, conjunto Powerhouse en the house. Eso, bueno más. A puro acordeón. Conjunto sereno, let's go.
Yo te regalaba todo lo que me pedías. Sin embargo, me reclamas, te daría hasta mi vida, pero tú, ¿qué me has dado? Falsas promesas de amor, pero tú, ¿qué me has dado? Golpes en el corazón.
Hi, buddy Choppy, how you doing?
Yo te regalaba todo lo que me pedías. Salí mal con mis amigos, porque tú no los querías, pero tú, ¿qué me has dado? Todo lo perdí por ti, pero tú, ¿qué me has dado? Solo me has hecho sufrir. Para sanar las heridas, voy a buscar otro amor. Ya casi arruinaste mi vida, golpeando mi corazón. arreglaba todo. Hoy reímos y me olvidan. Te quería abrir los ojos. Perdóname, madre mía, pero tú, ¿qué me has dado? Falsas promesas de amor, pero tú, ¿qué me has dado? Golpes en el corazón.
Oye, bueno más.
Mi suerte ha
Zapatela,
cambiado y ya estoy ganando otro amor a quien quieres. Tú estabas pensando que toda mi vida no más tú habías de ser. Cuando más te quise y me abandonaste, dejando en mi pecho herido
pensaba decidirme, pero al ver que te vas para siempre, te he querido que esta noche bien grabada se quede en tu mente. Mi mariachi se despide, mi guitarra bendice tu suerte. No hay en mí ningún reproche, porque sé que no es culpa de ti. Sin mirar diferencias sociales, nos tuvimos amor de verdad, corazón. Pero son convencionales al mirar que no somos iguales. Nos señalan lugares distantes para ya no poderlos mirar.
Bueno más, zapateale, compadre.
Brindaré por el cariño que por mí solamente has tenido, porque el tiempo y la distancia nos envuelven y el polvo de olvido. Al final, con un besito que te ve muy juntito,
Oye, me salva Rubén Telles, bueno
te
más.
diré que aunque quieras, vivirás siempre dentro de mí. Sin mirar diferencias sociales, nos tuvimos amor de verdad, corazón. Pero son convencionales al mirar que no somos iguales. Nos señalan lugares distantes para ya no podernos mirar.
Oye, bueno más, Mambito y los Chans. Bueno más.
Castigo que formara el mismo cielo de maldad, y a nada tienes que buscar conmigo. Has muerto para pie.
vuelves más, pero en mi cama tú amaneces. No quiero estar aquí, voy a sufrir sin ti, me has dicho muchas veces. Yo no sufriré, mi amor, y tú bien lo sabes. La puerta de frente, esa no tiene llave. Es más, ven aquí, mi amor, esa puerta. Lo que ves es la calle, te espera tu vida loca. Cuando te quieras ir, quita, no necesitas llave, porque la puerta no tiene llave. Me dices que te vas, que ya no vuelves más, pero en mi cama tú amaneces. No quiero estar aquí, voy a sufrir sin ti, me has dicho muchas veces. Yo no sufriré, mi amor, y tú bien lo sabes. La puerta de frente, esa no tiene llave. Es más, ven aquí, mi amor, está esa puerta. Lo que ves es la calle, te espera tu vida loca. Y si te vas, no mires para atrás, porque aquí mando yo, chiquita. Yo no sufriré, mi amor, y tú bien lo sabes. La puerta de frente, esa no tiene llave. Es más, ven aquí, mi amor, está esa puerta. Lo que ves es la calle, te espera tu vida loca.
Andan diciendo que soy perdido, no soy cumplido con mi deber. Pues no me importa lo que platiquen, y yo seguiré con mi proceder. Y yo nunca he dicho que soy un ángel, porque comprendo que no es así. Toda esta gente que sabe tanto, cuiden lo suyo y déjenme a mí. Gente embustera, levantan falsos, nada más para tener que platicar.
Bueno, más el
Pero algún día todos se pagan, y de estas cosas se han de acordar. I do. Well, I'll admit that I'm not no angel. I made mistakes, but then they have to. I love my freedom, I love my taxes, love my tequila, love my whiskey. And when it comes to good People are talking, my how they're talking, and I don't give a damn just what they say. I don't intend to please everybody. Get off my back, I'll go fetch my own way.
quisiera y hasta más quisiera. Sabes bien que soy tan tuyo hasta que un día me muera. Pero ves que de engañarme te engañas tú misma. Por altivez, por esas cosas que tú haces conmigo, quiero olvidar que Dios te dio un castigo. Mire, pues así lo has querido. Pues mira tú cómo te ríes, cómo juegas tú, con la esperanza que yo he puesto en ti, con todo lo que yo en ti creí. Es lo mejor, tengo el alivio, y si tú vas a ser la mujer que yo siempre quise ver, aunque a tu lado no me puedas ver como tu hombre. Como tu hombre. Soy como el pájaro negro. Que se oiga que soy como el pájaro negro. Mi destino fue fatal. La prenda que más quería y abandonó su mirar. Vamos los dos por el mundo sin podernos consolar. Pájaro negro y sin suerte, tu pájaro se alejó. Te acompaño a tus pesares, lo mismo a mí me pasó. Vente, vamos a buscarlas, que sin ellas no más no. Pájaro, pájaro negro, anda, avisarle a mi amor que todavía la quiero. Que no he olvidado su amor, pájaro, pájaro negro. Si me hicieras el favor, Voy a tomarme 1000 copas, si es posible unas 2000. La cantidad nada importa si no calmas mi sufrir. Yo que te esperaba, yo que tontamente siempre era fiel. Desgraciadamente hoy fue diferente, me topé con alguien, creo que sin querer. 3 veces te engañé, 3 veces te engañé, 3 veces te engañé. La primera por coraje, la segunda por capricho, la tercera por placer. 3 veces te engañé, 3 veces te engañé, 3 veces te engañé. Y después de esas 3 veces, y después de esas 3 veces, no quiero volverte a ver. Dices que me quieres y que me perdonas, pero ya no importa lo que tú has de hacer. Hoy me siento vivo, me siento importante, y de lo que pase yo me encargaré. 3 veces te engañé, 3 veces te engañé, 3 veces te engañé. La primera por coraje, la segunda por capricho, la tercera por placer. 3 veces te engañé, 3 veces te engañé, 3 veces te engañé. Y después de esas 3 veces, y después de esas 3 veces, no quiero volverte a ver.
Aún recuerdo los años 40, cuando con mis padres piscaba algodón. Me levantaba muy de mañanita a irnos temprano para la labor. Con el sereno de la madrugada, la primer pesada era la mejor, y entre todos juntos hacíamos 3 pacas pa' cuando quería calentar el sol. Apenas 6 años tenía cumplidos y yo no podía la saca arrastrar, pero yo quería ayudarle a mis padres. Con un costalito me ponía a piscar. A las meras 12 decía
salíamos todos para descansar, unos platicando y otros cantando, con un bajo viejo para divagar.
Oh yeah, welcome in everybody to Jason Latin Podcast. Eso, bueno más.
Fuimos al pueblo, íbamos contentos, yo y mi papá. Por una peseta fuimos a las vistas, hasta le llevamos pa' con la mamá. Ahora estoy solo, mis padres ya han ido, pero yo los traigo en mi corazón. El sol y la luna han sido testigos de cuando anduvimos piscando algodón. Los años 40, la época de oro, como los añoro quisiera llorar. Hoy solo han quedado los bellos recuerdos de aquellos momentos que no volverán.
Hello. How are you, Estani?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Wedo, thank you very much, Wedo. Have
Yes,
a
sir,
good night.
brother. You too, brother. You have a good night. We'll see y'all next time.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. Stani, welcome to Latin Legends. Everyone,
Thanks for
welcome
having
to the
me.
chat. Everybody, welcome that's in the chat. We got a lot to cover, I guess. This is my co-host, Mari Shofi. Go ahead, Mari.
My mic is missing again. I'm sorry. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you? I'm seeing that I have so much of my this. I was gonna bring it down a little. That's okay. I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
All
Welcome,
right.
welcome in. We are
Thank you. Yeah, it's
so
great
glad
to
to
be
have
here.
you.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Stani, born in San Antonio, raised in San Antonio, correct?
Yep, born and raised.
Okay. And at what age, more or less, did you start singing?
I started singing around 16, 17. But I was in like plays and stuff, when I was little, I always wanted to sing. But I was a folklorico dancer for years, since I was 7 years old, with the Ballet Folklorico de San Antonio in those city parks. And what really prompted me to sing was we did the Arneson River Theater shows every Sunday. And I remember the bridge, what is it, the Rosita Fernandez Bridge now, I believe, the Arneson, and all the mariachi were there. And it was when Canciones de mi Padre was out, and I loved every song on that record. And anyway, saw them singing, and I was like, that's what I want to do. So I was a kid then. I had to get my nerves up, but around 16, 17. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And you actually have family that's in the conjunto. Well, that was conjunto, correct?
I do, yeah. My grandmother, yeah, she was a conjunto singer, and boleros, and more like I call it like bolero conjunto. So, and
Right.
in 60s and 70s, yeah.
All right. And so let's, move on a little bit. You are a songwriter, and you've done some of the English stuff, correct?
Yes, I have. I've done a lot of English. I've well, both. My first album, Mariposa, was Spanish, completely Spanish. Well, no, there was one song that was in English because I had just gotten off the tour with Joan Sebastian, and I'll say with that tour, I was on that tour for 4 years, and that really prompted me to have to really get my Spanish. I always heard it in the house, but I didn't have to speak it. So, but yeah, I write in English as well. So,
All right. Would you consider yourself not just so much as a writer, but kind of like a storyteller, and your music kind of like a Latin jazz?
yeah, that's why for a while I was calling my music like Latin jazz, neo soul Latin jazz, because that's what I grew up. I grew up, listening to, I love old soul, and then hip hop, that was kind of my generation. Biggie and Tupac and all that stuff, and all that was coming out. That's what I like to listen to. And along with Aretha and Sam Cooke. And so I really liked that. But at the same time, I was out singing Tu Solo Tu, and I was listening to, all the regions, Jalisco, Nayarit, Tamaulipas, Michoacan, Veracruz. I was dancing them all and listening to a variety of sounds, and then having Queda and KXTN in the background. So, but yes, Latin jazz was really at the forefront. The big brass sound is what I really liked.
Right. And also, I noticed that you wrote a children's book, The Unique Beak, correct?
I did, yeah. I didn't know you found that. I did. There's already a number 2, but something has to take precedence right now. So right now it's been the album and the documentary, but that one we need to get it out there. So it's a series, yeah.
Okay. Y Mi Suerte Ha Cambiado, which is up for a Grammy, correct?
It's on the ballot, yeah, for FYC Best Música Mexicana, including Tejano. That's the literal category. That's how I have to say it. So that's the category.
And it's a collab with Max Baca, correct?
Correct. Yeah, with Max Baca and Josh. Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit, the process of actually recording with Max.
Well, I reached out to him due to a friend of mine in Los Angeles. There was another band I was originally going to record with, and that just the pieces weren't fitting. And I contacted a really good friend of mine who I was singing Conjunto en Tejano with in Los Angeles. And he said, hey, you're in Austin now. Contact Max Baca, Tex Maniacs. I didn't know of them at the time. And so it was a little, I didn't know if he was going to respond. But to get to the point, I called him. And he saw the 45s actually. He said, let me see the music. And I sent him a picture, and I sent him the YouTube links to my grandmother's music. And I think because she had worked with Manuel Guerrero and Toby Torres, those musicians intrigued him. He was like, oh, she worked with these musicians because I guess they're legends in Conjunto, or they are. So that's what started it. And it was a real easy process, actually. We got together, and it was at his house, and all of those songs, with the exception of a couple that I recorded in Los Angeles, were at his house. Yeah.
Okay, great. So before I pass it here to my co-host real quick, tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear "Tú de mí te acordarás."
What comes to my mind when I hear just that title? Oh, my grandmother, and what she's leaving behind, the small legacy of "You will remember me," and it means so much in so many facets. That's the documentary is going to be called "Tú de mí te acordarás," and I think it can just kind of blend with so many people that have these legacies that are that we don't know, that whether they're underrated or weren't or underrepresented, that are just so talented. That's what I think.
Okay, great. So we'll talk about the doc in a little bit. Mari, go ahead, Mari.
Thank you, Jason. Let's see. So you're mentioning your grandmother and her legacy in South Texas Conjunto music. How has her story influenced your sound today?
Well, she was very humble, first of all. But I remember very young, us having our barbecues, and she would have the musicians come over. I remember that as a little girl, and we would just all be playing, but I would always hear her and with the passion that she sang. And it was good because I was also with Ballet Folklorico de San Antonio, and so I could hear the mariachi sing, and it reminded me of her. And when I hear her singing, for example, Mi Suerte Ha Cambiado, she sings the Valseada version. I have more of a ranchera version. We changed it up a bit, but you can hear there's a thing, whatever it is, I can hear it in her voice. I can hear the passion, the sentiment, the feeling, the emotion. And that was really what I got out of hearing when my grandma would sing, and the songs she played, the people that she liked, Lola Beltran, Amalia Mendoza, Ana Gabriel. She likes those voices like that. She loves Selena, of course, because Selena even has that little bit of that, that grovel in the voice that is so
different,
so emotional. Yeah.
And
so that's where I was always coming from. I wanted to sing like that, but my voice is a little more like, it's different. We're different, but she's the OG for me. And I can't ever, I try to do the best I can with her music, but she did inspire me in that way to sing from like that place deep, deep there.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. You've been nominated for several independent and international music awards. Um, what do recognitions like that mean to you as an independent artist?
It feels, and for lack of a better word, I'm going to say vindication, not just for me, but it feels, you feel vindicated for all independent artists, I feel, because for so long, you're climbing up this mountain and it just feels like, or you're running in the hamster wheel and you look and you say like, am I moving? I feel like I'm moving, but where am I going? And to get those kinds of awards and that kind of recognition, it gives you the it gives you that validation that you're on the right track. And so regardless of whether you have management or you have that team around you, because I don't, it's just me. I don't have a manager. I don't have a team. And so there's been, as with every independent artist, I'm sure, peaks and valleys, but if you love it, you keep going, and something eventually, those moments where things hit and they make it all worth it, then you know that like, this is what it's about. And you feel how it all comes together, and it's more than just serendipity. It's like a God intervention. So it's a nice thing to get that validation, more so than I said vindication, that validation. I should have said that.
Yes.
A little bit of vindication too.
Do you find freedom in being an independent artist, or do you ever feel the weight of having to do it all yourself, from production to promotion?
Oh gosh. I mean, there's both, you feel really great when things come together and you've done it yourself. But there's also that thing when things are great and you have to hire everybody and it goes well, then it's kind of like the group that helped. But when things go bad, it's like, she did it, so there's that back and that conundrum there. But it's hard, I've talked to other women, primarily, who are independent artists and just amazing musicians and amazing talented vocalists, but to be to be your own manager, to be your own promoter, to be your own booker, to do to put the rehearsals together, to get all the musicians, to pay everybody, to make sure that you get that consistency of gigs, and then the recording and the session, it's just, and the promotion, like you said, and keeping up on social media and getting all your handles up to date. It's a constant full-time process that, it really helps if you have, whether it's a significant other, a family member, a team, there's bands that, they have 4 guys or 5 guys or 4 girls or 5 girls. And that just exponentially helps when you have 4 or 5 people in the band with you. They can all kind of spread out and take that weight off of the one person to help alleviate the stress by doing their part. But when it's just you and it's just your name, everybody else is kind of like a hired help. Even if you want the band there, you get a lot of freelance musicians who are amazing, but you're always on that side of like climbing up. So when it does go well, and it does very often, but it feels like all of it's worth it. And it is, no matter what, but it's something that's not for the faint of heart. I'll say that. This is for the long haul. Anybody who's in it in music and thinks like, oh, I'm going to release this one single and then I'm going to be whatever. I don't know what kind of fame there is in 2025, but whether it's an influencer, whether it's a tour, it's very short-lived. You have to do this because you love it and do it for the long haul. So, yeah.
Yes. How do you keep your creative energy strong when you're balancing so many roles?
Gosh, this is going to probably sound like such a cliche answer, but honestly, I just told my daughter this the other day, I look at life, and I read this somewhere as like a playground. Like, it's like the afterlife is our real home. This one is like, do what you do and do what you love. And you only have like this time to do it. And I've just always been that kind of person that's like, I see the time going by and I'm like, I could be creating. And if there's an idea that I have, I find a way. I just, okay, whether it's a new song, whether it's a lyric, whether it's a children's book, a documentary, I kind of start putting the wheels in motion. And if y'all could see behind my phone, like I'm looking over to the right, I have my big to-do list. I have a big whiteboard and I write all my things down for the month. And I'm a big believer in law of attraction and your vision board. You write it down, you look at it, and it's like, if it's there staring you in the face, I can't not look at it. I'm like, oh, and like bug me until I do it. And so that's kind of how I keep it going. I will say, there's those days though that I'm like, can I do this anymore? And I have to find the time to relax. I'm kind of tightly wound. But yeah, I have that calling. It's over there. Y'all are on it too. See when I have you on I could read it all right now, but
we made the list.
You did. I'm looking right now. It says, call. This is the beginning of October. Call Conjunto Hall of Fame in San Benito. Get your interviews. Reach out to Jason Borja. It's all there.
It's all there. That's awesome. What helps you stay inspired when the music industry gets tough for you? I know you mentioned you take some time for yourself, but what exactly, is there anything in particular that inspires you?
I think it's really just music. I mean, again, I don't want to say just the music, but when I have an idea in my head, or people, also just people that I run into that I see their work ethic, and more so just see how they are as a person, what they're doing, how their actions are defined by their character. And when I am surrounded by people who are just making their purpose happen on the daily and just trying so hard, and that doesn't mean that everything's gonna be great all the time. There's struggles and you see them work through the struggles. Honestly, that's inspiring to me, and it makes me want to, like, okay, if they can do it, or I look at my past, and if I'm feeling stuck and I'm like, I don't know if I can finish this, I look at what I've done before and I tell myself, you got through that, you did that, this happened. And I remember and recognize the ways that things just came together by not only circumstance, but like I said, just the natural ways that God makes things happen. I'm a big believer in God too, in prayer. Yeah. But that's how I keep inspired.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. Jason, that's all the questions I had.
All right, thank you, Mari. Chat, if y'all have a question here for Stani, go ahead and put it there, and Mari will read it to her in just a little bit. So, Stani, I also heard or read that you've been on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, I was a background singer on the Tonight Show. I wish it was me full front, but I was a background vocalist for a few artists. And one was Laura Pausini, and she was fabulous to work with. I was on the Tonight Show as a background vocalist. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna mention one person right now, and then I'm gonna mention another thing, I guess. And tell me in one word what that means to you.
Okay.
Rosita Lopez.
Oh, love.
Okay. Droughts in the ocean.
Journey.
Okay. Let me ask you this one.
You're saying just one word, right?
One word. Yes. How about Tejano?
Legacy.
Conjunto?
Culture.
Okay. So now you and I talked about earlier, when I hear your music, I believe you will be like the first female to actually kind of like make it popular as salsa mixed with Tejano. What do you think about that?
I love it. I mean, I would love to. That's what I do. If you've listened to my music, and I think it's a benefit, or maybe I should say blessing and a curse. But I don't know. I think at one time it was. I don't know about now, because everybody is kind of going into other genres. But I've always done that. I've always wanted to pollinate, if you will. I shouldn't say, but, you know, mix genres. And on my first album, Mariposa, that you had La Oportunidad, that had a little bit like a reggaeton-ish feel with salsa. And then you had Si Yo Me Quedo Contigo, that was very Tejano. And then you had Mariposa, that was cumbia. And I always wanted to do that. So that's something that is not at all out of the picture. And I just sang a Celia Cruz tribute for the last 3 Saturdays at Jazz Texas in San Antonio, and I know the music very well. I was the first female lead singer for a pretty big band in Los Angeles, and they were very hard on me. They saw me as this girl from Texas who just knew, you know, golpe traidor or something. That's literally how they saw me. And they were like, even with the güiro, oh, look, see, hold on. Like this thing, you know? Oh, you don't know how long I had to, they were like, you're not playing that. And they would make me, it's not just that. It's like, there's a whole thing to it. So I really had to like do my homework, you know, and learn. So I would love to make that combination work. And even with conjunto, you know, I don't know if people would, that's a kind of a scary road to walk. Not scary, but you know, I walk it with trepidation because I want to stay true to the tradition and honor it and never do anything to like disrespect the culture of conjunto music. But when I did and I'm sorry, I'm segueing here. I hope you don't mind. I'm going off track. When I did Tú de mí te acordarás, initially it was very, very traditional, which it still is. You know, it was Max, Josh, Lorenzo Martinez on some of the drums, and Max played bass on some of the songs, along with the electric guitar and bagare. And I listened to like Teddy Swims or Steven Sanchez. I don't know if they were big on TikTok, especially Steven Sanchez. And they had that timeless vintage quality, but it still sounds current. But there's really nothing new, but there is something about the production. So I tried my best to do that with Tú de mí te acordarás, because it's not the same as what you hear on my grandma's. If you go to Frontera, it's literally just, you know, accordion, bajo, drums. You know, it's what conjunto is. Right. But we added organ, and I brought in Beto Martinez, where he's with Grupo Fantasma. He's a producer as well. And I said, look, I want to do something to like make this just uplift it a little without going too far, because these are my grandmother's songs, also paying homage to her. And so I don't want my family also to go, what are you doing? You're going way out with this, and you have to value this tradition. We did add organ, and we added a little lift in production, and I used those two people, Steven Sanchez and Teddy Swims. I said, okay, if Steven Sanchez and Teddy Swims are doing conjunto, what would it sound like? And we tried real hard to, you know, keep the traditional sound with a vintage flair that sounds timeless. That could be recorded today or in 1964, you know, so.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. So you're doing a documentary on conjunto music. How did you get that idea?
It started just doing something for my grandma. Honestly, again, you know, I found the records, and then I was going to do a little film for her, just for her. I wanted to find the musicians that she had worked with, and then put them together, and her as well. And what inspired me to do that was like the Buena Vista Social Club documentary. This guy, Ry Cooter from Nashville, you know, his dad went to Cuba, or I think he did. I can't remember exactly what, but anyway, they find these musicians that were big musicians in the 50s and 60s with the big orchestras. Make a long story short, he finds them, puts them back together, because they really didn't get the recognition that they ever deserved. And they won a Grammy, and they wound up playing at Radio City Music Hall at 93. So that was my initial thought. I was like, oh, I'm going to see if I can find, not knowing these people already passed, Manuel Guerrero, Toby Torres. I found Plácido Salazar and Lalo Torres, and I've gotten them. And so that's the way it started. I said, well, I'm just going to find these musicians that play with my grandmother and see if they knew her and how their experience and relationship was when they were playing with her, when they played together. And I even got Manuel Guerrero's nephew to be interviewed. So Anyway, he played drums. All that to say, that's how it started. And then people started reaching out to me, and I started becoming more curious. I was like, where are all the women in conjunto? Where are they? Not Tejano in conjunto, you know? I know there's and I don't even know, you know, I was reading about Rita Vidauri and Beatriz Llamas and Perla Tapatía, but those Tesoros de San Antonio, I think. But other than that, I just didn't, I was like, where are they? Aside from Lydia Mendoza, well, we all know. So that's what led me to the path of like, I want to learn more.
Okay, great, great. And this will also, you know, like you said, cater to like those conjunto artists that never got that recognition that was deserved, correct?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was saying. Like, the premise was like the Buena Vista Social Club, except that was for Cuban music. But that was I thought I want to do the Buena Vista Social Club for conjunto music, the version, you know, all the artists that did so much and were really the backbone of the music that for whatever reason didn't get the recognition they deserved, underrated, underrepresented. And the music as a whole, you know, we walk a fine line with conjunto because it stays within the triangle of Texas, which is Laredo, no, yeah, what is it? Yeah, Laredo, San Antonio, Houston, around there, and then everything within that space, you know, Brownsville, McAllen, and everything within, you know, the RGB. So I would love to see it, and I know it's out there. I'm not saying that like bands don't travel to different cities playing conjunto, but on a global platform, like we've all seen, you know, Grupo Frontera, which is great, but also the women, you know, the women in conjunto and Tejano, I feel, you know, I really feel that as well.
Right. And you know, I had told you, you know, if it's hard for women at Tejano to make it, just imagine conjunto how even harder.
I know. That's exactly what I have found, you know, doing my research and trying to find records of women that sustained and lasted and got that recognition, like someone like a Flaco Jimenez or, you know, Manuel Guerrero, or, you know, or like modern day Tex Maniacs, you know, the female, the female version of that, you know.
Understood. Understood. So let's real quick talk about more about the doc and what exactly or how long do you think the doc will be? Like 2 hours, 3 hours, or no?
No, what I'm thinking, and I don't want to like be held to this for certain, but what I'm thinking is because I have so much footage now of so many people and so much inside experience, wisdom, history. Uh, I might do a 45-minute, a short, possibly. I don't know. There's some options there with episodics because, you know, for example, Placido is an hour of footage that I have, which is amazing. It's his story. It's going to be, you know, it's just a wonderful story that he has allowed me the privilege to be a part of, and to record his story. But I can't put that in the documentary. So there's talk about either a 2 hour, you know, hour and a half documentary, or a 45-minute short, and say all of these people that were in this documentary, because if it is 45 minutes, there's going to be a real small amount of footage for each interview. But here's the episodics. You want to see the full, you know, interview, and make that an episode of one person.
Okay, great, great. Before I ask Mari if there's questions in the chat, or maybe if she has an additional question, did you listen to the Mas song that I sent you?
I did.
Okay, and were you able to hear it?
I did. I heard it.
You
That's
heard it?
amazing. Yeah. Of course, I was looking to see all the credits.
Yeah. All right, Mari, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't see any questions here in the chat, but one question I have for you additionally is is your storytelling through writing similar to songwriting for you, or is it a whole different creative lane?
Storytelling in terms of the documentary?
Storytelling as far as your books or even your documentary and things like that.
Oh, well, writing the book is very similar to songwriting. I'm when I write my songs, and all my songs that are mine, like I top line. I write the lyrics, chords, and melodies. So that's all me. But I'll be honest, like I delegate for the music, and I don't hear that. I know where my strengths are. And so all the horns that you hear in my Latin jazz stuff, I have really great musicians that help me with that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So in terms of being a lyricist and a writer, when I write my book, I write it somewhat as a songwriter because you're telling a story, and I have to, but I'm all about like the syllabic structure and how it flows and, words that can be expressive and also simple. Simple to write simply is not easy. Too much words, too many words, and you lose what the person's trying to say in the song. And it's like having to find how it fits in the time and the and still get the emotional aspect out of it with what you're saying, because you can't say a full novel. You have to express your emotions in one verse, a pre-chorus, chorus, maybe another verse, a bridge, and you're out. And it has to be the full where someone's like, play that again. Oh my God, I love that song, and you have to express a lot in a little amount of time. So that's my process.
Okay. When people experience your art, whether it's your songs or your books, what do you hope they walk away with?
That I made them feel a sense of whatever the song calls for, and the book, whether it's a sense of belonging, whether it's feeling if it's a love song, feeling that breakup or feeling that power of I will get over this, whatever the theme is of the song. And I'm a vocal coach as well, so I tell my vocalists, at the end of the day, it's really not, you can have the vocal range of Whitney Houston, but what made Whitney Houston, of course her voice was amazing, but she connected with every word and lyric. Or Elida y Avante, Duele. As a kid, oh my God, I was like, repeat. That song was the song. Y duele. Oh my God, my grandma loved it too. But like, she connects, and that's one word. So that's why I tell them too, it's like, you have to connect with those, with what you're saying. Gosh, I'm sorry, man. I got off track and I'm like, what was I saying? Because I got so into like Calidad y Amante.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just when I write, that's not what you asked me. I can't remember now. But yeah, connecting with the lyric.
Yes. Okay. And my last question for you. What's one piece of advice you'd give to new upcoming independent artists about staying true to their voice?
Oh, people will try and tell you what lane you should be in and what your brand is, and you need to do this and you need to do that. They're not you. And if you don't follow your intuition, you're going to allow someone else to carve the road for you. You can take the advice and discern what works best for you. But I think at the end of the day, you need that one or two trusting people, and those two to help you navigate, but to stay that initial thing that made you want to sing, and look back at those influences and, okay, it was this person or this, hearing this instrument being played, and really look inside and why am I doing this? And who do I want people to see? What part of me, and it has to be authentically you, especially now. If you're trying to be somebody else, it's going to show very, very quickly. You have to stay true to yourself. And I think that's really the hardest thing for up and coming, whether you're conjunto, tejano, salsa, reggaeton, whatever it is, just to keep that authenticity and not let social media, what others think, comments sway you. If you stay on that path of diligence within yourself, and it's so hard. Oh my gosh, Gen Z, not that I feel sorry for Gen Z because they're strong, but I feel that they have to grow up in this world of being like looked at it through a microscope. And that's who's coming up, the Gen Z females and the guys, So it's hard to stay true to yourself, but it's a generic response. But I think that's what you need to do, is just like cut out the noise and like, what do I want for myself in the long term, and what's gonna make me feel that I'm giving what I know to be true, not what someone else thinks I should do.
Thank you. That's some great advice. Thank you very much. There's no other questions, Jason.
Thank you, Mari. So, Estani, before we get to the game that we play here,
Okay.
what's your goal for 2026?
My goal for 2026, well, I want this documentary finished. I will say that it's gonna, and I want to bring, not only, it's not even conjunto, I want to be a person that can demonstrate, if you really want to make something happen in my small way, not necessarily as an influencer, but I guess that's what you call it, but more so be something for somebody who said, okay, she did that. And you and I, Jason, spoke a little bit about me getting into the conjunto space. That was a big jump for me, and it was a little scary because people don't know me in conjunto. I know the majority, might say like, what? Where'd she come from? Who is this girl? And it's kind of, and I get it, but if you can see past that and say, well, she did it. She just thought, okay, I'm gonna do it. Just like with the documentary, or just like with my children's book. Okay, this is what I want in my head. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna find a way. I hope I can be somewhat of an inspiration for somebody to say like, or to, I need help with this, or I can look to this person who did it and wasn't really, came out of like not having that support, I guess, in that way.
Understood. Where can everybody stream your music?
Apple Music, Pandora, Spotify, all digital streaming platforms. Yeah.
Okay. So we play this little game.
Okay.
It's kind of like a this or that. And so I have a few of them. La Mafia or Mas?
La Mafia.
La Mafia. You care to explain?
I was on the stage with them, and I don't want to tell you the date. It was a long, long time ago. No, it was in Los Angeles. It was a September 16th. Yeah. And I know them. I met them personally. I shouldn't say we're like this, but I met them personally.
All right. Understood. Let's go with conjunto or tejano.
Ooh. What if I said te junto? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow.
That's a hard one. I'm gonna have to say conjunto. Because I just did my grandma's album. My grandma was conjunto, my lines is to my grandma.
Understood. Elida Reina or Laura Canales?
Oh, really? I'm sorry, that OG, Laura. I love Elida. Oh, you made me choose like that. How can you do that? No, but Laura Canales.
Okay. If you could take one album with you, if they were going to put you on an island forever, you could only take one album. Doesn't matter what genre of music. What album are you taking?
Ooh. Gosh, that's a hard one. Okay. I'm going to go out. I'm just going to. Oh, man. Jill Scott, Words and Sounds, Volume 1. And I can tell you why, but if not, that's okay.
No, go ahead.
You have to listen to a couple of her songs on that album. She does a great job of blending a little bit of a Latin sound with neo soul. And there's one song in particular called One is the Magic Number. You should listen. It's a great song. Anyway, and it was the first time I thought, okay, like I heard this can mix. Like this is good. And it was way back, but I loved it.
All right. I have one more for you, and I don't know if Mari has maybe one or two for you.
Okay.
Loyalty or respect?
Loyalty.
Loyalty. Okay. Mari, do you have a few for her here?
I do. Um, Jennifer Lopez or Shakira?
Shakira.
Selena Quintanilla or Gloria Estefan?
Oh. I'm here until I'm born and raised, and it's gonna have to be Selena.
Okay. Stephanie Montiel or Shelly Lares?
Ah, and I know about their music too. That's all. Shelly Lanes.
Okay. La Dinastía or Las Phoenix?
Say the first one again.
La Dinastía.
Okay, or Los Phoenix. Gosh, I know them. I just don't know, like, really. I'm gonna say Las Phoenix.
Okay. Grupo Nietzsche or Cuesta? I can never say it right though.
Did you, oh, you didn't
It's
say it again? I know
Guayacán. There you go.
Which one?
Orquesta Guayacán.
Oh, Grupo Nietzsche.
All right, that's all I had, Jason.
All right.
All right. I have a bonus one, and it's just curiosity.
Okay.
Joan Sebastian or Juan Gabriel?
Oh, really? Really? Oh, God. I mean, oh my God, that was the same kind of a Stephanie Montiel Shadi Latrabo. Okay, I'm gonna have to say, just because I was there for 4 years, Joan Sebastian, but I mean, Juan Gabriel is like another level of phenomenal. So, Joan Sebastian.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to let us know here before we wrap it up?
I'll be back in San Benito this weekend. No, I'm just very grateful to be able to have a space in the conjunto realm and revisit what I've always grown up with. And I appreciate you reaching out and having me on your podcast. Thank you so much, Mari. Thank you. And it's been great. I am looking forward to what's happening next. And again, thank you for having me and letting me share a little bit of my background and a little more of what I do. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Jay Perez is in the chat and he asked, Jay Perez or Jay Perez?
Oh, Jay Perez, of course.
There you go, the voice, guys, the voice in the chat. He's in the building. So, one more thing. Mari, you want to go ahead and write us out here?
Sure, absolutely.
Put on my glasses for this one.
Would also like to give un saludos to songwriter Fernando Silva. He's been listening in with us tonight as well. Grace and Glory HVAC Heating and Appliances, offering a comprehensive range of HVAC services and appliance installation. For more information, you may contact Eddie Mendoza at 956-444-2814 or Samuel Ramos Jr. at 956-281-2799. Guys, we do have our YouTube channel up. If you guys would go check that out, it's Latin Legends Podcast. Please look at the previous interviews we've had and subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Estani, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for sharing your story, your energy, and your heart with all of us here on Latin Legends Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. To everyone tuned in, our listeners, our window watchers, and all the folks who drop love in the comments, gracias for being a part of the family. And a big shout out to our Latin Legends podcast crew behind the scenes and holding down our chat for us. We couldn't do this without you guys. Stay tuned. We've got more incredible interviews, more stories, and more music coming your way. Until next time, guys, keep it legendary. We are Latin Legends Podcast.
Thank you, Sonny. Thank you once again, and you're always welcome here to promote whatever you got going on. You just give me a call and we'll make it happen.
I will. There's something coming up very soon. I'll keep you
Yes.
posted.
Yeah, shout out to Gilbert from Los Hermanos Peña. Y'all need to keep your eyes open and ears open, guys. Just so y'all know.
Yep,
So
yep, yep.
have a good night, guys.
On the deal.
Yeah, well, Gilbert put it in the chat.
Right.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Everyone.